and thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Sadie Christie, and this is The Word. This week I've been thinking a lot about my impending graduation and the reality that waits for me on the other side. Real life. Waiting there for us whether we're ready or not. And a big facet of that next chapter is the career we're all here more or less training for. However, just because we're training doesn't exactly mean we know exactly what we want to do. In fact, a lot of people ask me what I'm going to do with my English degree, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure. So this week I've decided that our word will be careers, to hear your opinion about careers and perhaps gain some insight into my own. So my first question that I am putting out to all of you is, do you think a career is important?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's what you want to be when you grow up.
It gives you a sense of kind of what direction you should head. You can plan for things, and just kind of aligning your career and with what you're truly interested in is very important.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And it's also what you're in university for. It's also what you get an education for.
Well, I think it's important because it's what is going to feed you and your family for the rest of your life. So if you're going to be doing something 40 hours a week, it should be something that you genuinely enjoy.
Absolutely. I'm currently working on my career right now, so I actually have one, so that's why I'm here at university. So I think it's good to have.
Yes, I think it's important to have a career.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. I'm an ex-architect, so I'm coming from the workforce, so I know what it's like to work out in the real world and then have to come back to university to retrain and look for a different career choice just with the economy the way it's been.
Yes, I think it's very important.
Yes.
I think it's very important because I think in life it's important to really have goals. Without goals, we really don't have any motivation to go anywhere. So a career is just one aspect of a goal that like most people have in this society.
I think it is. You got to plan your future out when you get out of university. If everything is planned out, it's better for you.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a career choice because in your future you should know what you want to do with your life.
Personally, I'm of the belief that having a career is not that important. I think it's important if it's something that you love to do. I think a lot of people see careers as standing for security and stability, but in our economy as we see today, that's not always the case. I also think that people chasing after this often get themselves into a perpetual cycle and end up doing something for the rest of their lives that they don't necessarily enjoy doing. So, I think it's important to have a career if it's important to you. Now that we know whether or not you think it's important, do you have a career in mind?
It's actually a split decision. I do want to look in a career in sciences, like orthodontist to be specific. I'll think of a field in investment banking for pharmaceutical companies or anywhere in the science department, like biotech industries.
I'd like to get into law, ideally. Whether I end up there, I'm not really sure.
Well, I'm in English and poli-sci, so I'm probably going to go into international relations or into law school.
I'm in science first year, so I'm hopefully going to be an organic chemistry major. And I have 3 things lined up. I would like to go either into optometry or teach high school, or possibly if I can get a foot in the door, because my dad works at Labatt, which is involved with organic chemistry a lot, I could work in the lab in there.
Well, right now I'm in the Canadian Forces I'm in the Canadian Air Force to become a pilot. So I'm working on that. After I graduate, I continue my career with them.
I'd like to be an entrepreneur.
I'm hoping to open a transitional home for homeless youth. But it's a bit of an endeavor.
I'm looking to do public history. I can tie my architectural experience in with a major in history and get into heritage buildings, maybe association with local government and some private companies.
Right now I just switched programs from nursing to psychology, so it's kind of up in the air for me, but I do have one in mind. I'm thinking that I want to go into counseling with underprivileged children and that kind of stuff.
I either want to be a teacher or work at a publishing house.
Potentially right now I was thinking somewhere in the career of finance or consulting, depending how these couple years go and seeing where my interests sort of direct me towards.
We're actually starting a business after we graduate. It's called Cottage Country Air Tours in Muskoka. We did it as a feasibility project and it turns out to be really feasible.
I'm probably going to be part of Cottage Country Air Tours, and I am in marketing currently right now, so I'm going to do the promotions and advertising for the company.
Okay. So obviously money is just one factor in career decision making. Another one I find really interesting is parental influence. Growing up in a household around your parents' profession or being motivated by a profession that your parents believe will be prosperous for you is obviously going to have a large impact on your career decision making. Personally, my parents told me to find what I love to do and they would be supportive. But how about you? How did your parents impact your career decision?
They said, you know, you're gifted, you have a great mind on your head, and do whatever you like. And they did kind of influence me for sciences, but you know, their influence was a positive influence.
Nope, they've always just told me to do whatever it is that I truly enjoy. And so, I mean, from that perspective, I've always been pretty appreciative of that they've always supported whatever decision I make.
Well, my dad is a civil engineer. My mom was a chemistry major, and I'm an English and poli-sci. So I wouldn't say they influenced me too much. It was more my own choice, really.
I would say that my dad influenced me a lot because it was his suggestion that I go into optometry because he used to work with ophthalmological equipment and he knows the ins and outs of the industry. And he suggested that it's something that I liked. And I did end up liking it because I did co-op in high school.
In a way, like my father was in the Air Force as well. He was a pilot, and I'm sort of following in his footsteps. But he sort of wanted me to become a doctor or something, but I wanted to really serve my country and become a pilot as well.
Yeah, my parents always taught me to be conscious of those around me and give back in any way I could. And they've also pushed me to remain within post-secondary and push forward with it.
They actually pushed me to stay in nursing.
My mom's a teacher and my dad works in the city of Toronto, and they just facilitated whatever passion I had, and there was no pressure in either way.
Yeah, they told me to go to this program.
No, not really.
No, not really. My mom's like, do whatever you want to do as long as you're happy. And my dad more pushes for money, but it's more my mom's influence that I take.